Hello everyone, welcome back to your new social science class. Today we are going to talk about the expansion of the Delhi Sultanate. The Delhi Sultanate marks a major turning point in the history of India, and it also prepared a base for one of the largest empire in India. Then it also had a deep impact on the Indian culture. So as we said in the last class, the period of the Delhi Sultanate saw the rise and fall of five dynasties in Delhi. And these dynasties transformed the political, social, and cultural life in India. So, today, let us know how the empire of the Delhi Sultans grew and flourished. During the initial years of the Delhi Sultans, the control of the Delhi Sultanate was limited to fortified towns occupied by garrisons. Garrisons means soldiers. And the sultans did not control the hinterland. Hinterland means the lands adjacent to a city or port that supply it with goods and services. So, the hinterland of the cities for the supply of the goods depended upon trade, tribute, or plunder. And controlling these garrison towns in distant areas from Delhi was really a difficult task for the Delhi sultans. And more than this, during the initial time, Mongol invasion from Afghanistan placed a big challenge to Delhi Sultanate. And Mongols means the people of Mongolia. Mongolia is a country near to China, and at that time they occupied a very big empire. Mongol Empire was one of the biggest empire of that time, and it occupied Afghanistan also. So Mongol rulers started attacking Delhi Sultans at that time. And more than this, many governors of Delhi Sultans itself used to rebel at any sign of the Sultan's weakness. Okay, so whenever they are feeling that the Sultan's power is less, what they will do, no, they will protest against the ruler. Okay, they will protest against the sultan by utilizing the chance. So many attacks and rebellions were posing a big challenge for Delhi sultans, and the sultanate barely survived these challenges. So now you may understood that the Delhi sultanate faced lot of challenges at the time of their ruling. But you may think that how did then the expansion of the Delhi sultanate took place, right? The answer is that the expansion of the Delhi Sultanate occurred mainly during the reigns of Ghiyasuddin Balban from the early Turkish rulers and at the time of Alauddin Khilji and Muhammad Tughlaq. Khilji from Khilji dynasty and Muhammad Tughlaq from Tughlaq dynasty. During the reign of these three rulers, expansion of the Delhi Sultanate occurred. Then the expansion took place both in internal frontier and external frontier. I mean, inside the empire and outside the empire, it took place. Expansion in the internal frontier means initially the Delhi Sultans tried to expand the areas around Delhi, and an external frontier expansion means when the Delhi Sultanate rulers tried to expand in areas much beyond Delhi. So, the first set of military campaigns along the internal frontier of the Delhi Sultanate aimed at consolidating or to control the hinterlands of the garrison towns. So, during the time of these military campaigns, forests were cleared in the Ganga Yamuna river areas. And people who lived there, like hunters and gatherers and pastoralites, expelled or removed from their land. And these lands were given to peasants, and agriculture was encouraged in those areas. And new fortresses and towns were also established. So apart from this, the Delhi Sultanate also tried to expand their kingdom in faraway places. So for that, military expeditions into South India started during the reign of Alauddin Khilji and Muhammad Tughlaq. During their campaigns to these faraway places, Sultanate armies captured elephants, horses, and slaves and carried away precious metals from those areas. And gradually, the Delhi Sultanate expanded as one of the biggest empire in the world. So now let us proceed our next topic, administration of the Delhi Sultanate. We all know that it is not an easy job or an easy task to maintain a big empire, right? So how this Delhi Sultanate could manage all these things that we are going to discuss here. For controlling a kingdom as vast as the Delhi Sultanate, we needed good governors and administrators. So, rather than appointing aristocrats and landed chieftains as governors, the early Delhi sultans, especially Iltutmish from the early Turkish dynasty, appointed special slaves as governors. Why? Because these slaves were purchased for military services and they were known as bandagan in Persian language. And these special slaves are well trained also. So, since they were totally dependent upon their masters, the Sultan could trust them. Then, the Ghaljis and Tughlaqs also continued to use the bandagan, special slave, as administrators. Then these Ghaljis and Tughlaqs also appointed military commanders as governors of territories of varying size. So the land given to these military commanders were known as Ikta, and the holder of these land were known as Iqtadar or Mukti. So the duty of the Muktis or the Iqtadar was to lead military campaigns and maintain law and order in their Iqtas, in their land. In exchange of their military services, the Muktis collected the revenues of their assignments as salary. And these people also paid their soldiers from these revenues from the land. Then accountants were appointed by the state, by the ruler, to check the amount of revenue collected by the Muktis. And under Delhi Sultanate, always care was taken that the Muktis collected only the taxes prescribed by the state. And the state is also used to check that the Muktis are keeping the required number of soldiers or not. And there were three types of taxes under Delhi Sultanate. The first one on cultivation, which is called as garage, and amounting to about 50% of the peasant's produce. Okay, so what the peasant is producing from his land, no, that the 50% of that he have to give as a tax to the ruler. Then the next one is on cattle and the third one is on houses. Okay, so these were the three important taxes at that time. So these are all the important things regarding the administration of the Delhi Sultanate. Now we can discuss about the reasons for the decline of the Delhi Sultanate. There are numerous reasons why the Delhi Sultanate declined in India. One reason is that there were frequent battles for succession which created an atmosphere of political instability in the Delhi Sultanate Empire. And the army of the Delhi Sultanate lacked the skill to protect the empire from internal and external threats. Then most importantly, Mongol invaders further weakened the basis of the Delhi Sultanate. The invasion of the Taimurs struck the final fatal blow to the existence of the empire. So, these are all the important things from this chapter. Thank you all. All of you, please do your work and submit it on time.